thanks to our patrons for help making this possible. Learn more below. In this episode, we head out to Mace Town, the old gold mining settlement with 40-something river crossings. We then head up the west coast, exploring a few of the gems along the way, before heading over the Braeburn Range, up to Porika Road, and out from there.
So join me in Arrowtown. Just been into little shops, and now I'm about to head up to Mace Town. Got 40-something river crossings coming up. Hopefully they're not too deep today. And this is probably one of my favourite tracks down in the South Island. Yeah, time to drop some air out of the tyres, and let's get into it. So Mace Town, lots and lots of river crossings, something we just don't do in the North Island, and something that was maybe just a little bit nervous, I guess, for lack of a better word. But this is such a cool place to come. It is somewhere that you definitely want to have a snorkel. Even when the river's not deep, you can get caught out occasionally.
It's also worth keeping an eye on the weather. If heavy rains are forecast, it's probably best to give Mace Town a miss. You don't have to go far out of Arrowtown before getting a glimpse into the past. As you head up one of the first hills, keep an eye on your left for this cool little old gold mining area.
We dropped way down into the valley now, and it's icy as. I don't think anybody else has been through here today. Pretty cool. Literally. It's been cold down here. Check out that little ice piece. The whole creek here. I'm going to assume that this hasn't seen sun for quite a while. It's not actually that cold today. Look at that. Cool.
So one of the hardest parts about filming by yourself is having to go back and get your camera. I got caught up here on a very icy river exit, which proved to be reasonably fun.
This is also one of these areas where it's absolutely vital that you stay on the track. There's been issues with people leaving the tracks and causing damage to what is a very fragile area. And last time that happened, Doc talked about closing access up here, which would be a real shame. Yeah, this is not a hardcore four-wheel drive destination or anything. It's a historic piece of New Zealand that's amazing to come up and visit. So look after it, and it'll stay open forever. And final river crossing into Mace Town Historic Reserve. So it's crazy to think that like 200 people used to live up here. You know, it's so far from anything even today, and I just think they had everything here that they needed. You know, obviously the bakehouse behind me there, there's houses and stuff
sort of off in there, and yeah, for gold. I know I've said it a couple of times now, but it's gold. Like, I know that it's a very expensive resource, but the effort that people have gone through to get it, and I guess sadly the destruction of the environment to get it as well. Yeah, there's scars all over the landscape up here from that era, but it's fascinating to be able to come up and just kind of imagine what life would have been like. But what a spot. If you can, come out here. It is amazing.
So last time I was up here, it was me and Chloe, and it was real busy. It's odd being here all by myself. I haven't seen anybody all day, and it's very eerie being in a abandoned town when there's just no one around. Anyway, let's go up and find the old battery. As it's a pretty cool piece of machinery, and I guess it's kind of the reason that this town exists in the first place.
It's cool that there's so many of the ruins left. It gives you a bit of a glimpse into the past and the history of Macetown. I can't even imagine the amount of work it would have taken to get all of this gear up here.
So yeah, if you're coming back from the battery at the end, take the left-hand line and follow the little track that takes you back to the main one. Just up there is the Mace Town settlement, and down here, a whole bunch of cool little river crossings with a couple of steep entrances, which is kind of fun.
The slightly threatening clouds from the day before dumped an amazing amount of snow all over the hills surrounding Queenstown. I went up Crown Range and had a look before going back, picking up Chloe and heading back up to Skipper's Canyon, where we found a whole bunch of fresh snow.
So I had a bit of a random day today. Started off up in Crown Range, see the snow, that was awesome. Went out to the beginning of Skipper's Canyon just to actually see some real snow that people hadn't gone in there. That was very cool. And now I've come for a drive to Glenorchy and Paradise, which is pretty cool. Sadly, the track has fallen into the river, and while people appear to have gone through the field, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, what a cool place. The views here are amazing. Very excited for tomorrow, heading off to the west coast.
Alrighty, so I left Queenstown this morning and we're on the road again. Very excited for this. We're actually going to be camping for the next few nights. So yeah, just come through Monica and we're on our way over the Haas Pass and working our way over to the west coast.
So I came through here a couple of years ago and somehow managed to miss a whole bunch of the little turn-off bits and cool things to see. We're at Fantail Falls now. We just came over the Haas Pass and heading towards Haas itself. And yeah, pulled up the road, and how cool is this place? South Island in winter is very cool, and it is nice to be heading towards the west coast now and seeing some trees. I love Otago, but there's no trees.
so good to be back by the ocean after a couple of days inland. As much as I love the mountains, it's so hard to beat the sea. And stop for the night. Where are we? Donald's Creek campsite. It's not super picturesque or anything, that's alright. It's been long down the road and it's getting dark, and it's time to finally set up the tent. I've been waiting for this for, I don't know, 3 months almost. It's exciting. Excited?
Yeah.
First night back in ages.
With the tent set up, it's time to cook some dinner, and my least favourite part of the day, downloading all of the footage.
Not too bad.
No.
When it's been real dewy overnight, try to dry the tent quickly before folding it up. It keeps everything inside nice and dry. The Pancake Rock blowholes are well worth a visit on your way up the west coast. If you manage to time it up with a decent swell, the waves come pounding up through the rocks here. It's an amazing spot just to hang out for half an hour and watch the water.
Started this morning down in glacier country, just north of Fox Glacier, and we're currently out on Cape Foulwind, which is beautiful today. Apparently it's not like this very often. The west coast has been incredible. So pushed hard from Queenstown yesterday morning. We're now in the northern part of the west coast, and hopefully tomorrow we can go find a few little tracks. Basically low on time now, so might be 1 or 2 more and then time to head home.
Just come over from Westport, up through the Water Gorge, into Murchison. We're now on the Braeburn track across to Lake Rotorua. Meant to just be like a little basic gravel road, but it's always nice and sitting on the highway.
Dropped into Lake Rotorua, and still as anything and crystal clear. Next, we're going. Where's my hand? Going up there. Up in those hills there. I love this though. It's still, it's quiet. There's no one here. Hear the birds. The sun's going down. It is the shortest day of the year currently, and does make it slightly hard to film. You get very limited time in a day, and we've been on the road a lot the last 3 days. So yeah, head up a hill, go find somewhere to sleep tonight.
come down this track before from the other direction, and I remember it being very, very steep and quite scrabbly. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like today as I take out all the trees on the way. That's about as steep as I remember, and quite a lot more bumpy.
So, final morning. Stayed out at Whatamungo Bay last night, which is where we are right now. Just to not have to drive too far today. And it's always sad packing up the tent on the final morning of a trip. This has been pretty epic, and nice to come back down and see the South Island in winter, which I've never done before, and finally pick up the Hilux. It's been basically 3 months since I left it down here. So yeah, let's finish packing up and make a move back to Picton and line up for the ferry.
So 3 months since I was heading the opposite way. Finally back in Picton, about to jump on the ferry, get the old girl home, and give it some much needed love. I think it's well overdue for service and a bit of a tidy up. Be nice to be back though.